Welcome parents to our annual reading competition, sponsored by CleverTech and powered by Raz Plus and Vocabulary A to Z. This parent information session will show you and your child how to navigate this multi-award-winning learning platform to get your child motivated to read more and win big prizes as we compete to see who will be the next top reader. Stay tuned for more information from CleverTech about the grand prizes for top teacher, top school, and top 3 readers in your country. And let's get ready to read. Don't worry if you don't win the grand prize, because this year we want to celebrate everyone. So in addition to the top student, top teacher, and top school prizes, our team will arrange to personally visit your school to award a medal to the top reader within each participating school. We could also arrange to host an award ceremony for you to celebrate the top readers in each class with a certificate of recognition. This session will focus on getting your child started with Raz Plus and Vocabulary A to Z by answering the following questions. Number 1. How does my child log in through the app or the web browser? Number 2. What are stars and how can my child earn them? Number 3. Where can my child access reading activities that will count towards the competition? And number 4. How do I access the parent dashboard to monitor my child's progress throughout the competition? Your child will come home with a login card like the one on the right-hand side. This will show them how to access their personal account from the browser by going to www.kidsa-z.com. They can also download the application for any of their mobile devices using various app stores listed at the bottom. Their teacher username is highlighted at the top to give them access to their class as well as their password. Once your child fills in their teacher username, he or she will be redirected to their class homepage. From here, students will have to locate their name from the class list by matching the icon in the login card with the icons in the class list. Once you've found your name, for instance Matthew, the red square, the child will click on their name and fill in their password. Once a new student is logged in and clicks on the reading planet, he or she will automatically be redirected to the placement tool. After completing a series of comprehension questions, students will be automatically placed at the closest starting point within a range of reading levels that seem appropriate for him or her. Teachers will always have the autonomy to adjust the levels later on as they see fit. Students will earn stars throughout the competition by completing a variety of reading activities on Raz Plus, and also by playing games on Vocabulary A to Z. The chart on the left shows how many stars students can earn for each completed activity within Raz Plus. There are over 55,000 resources here that teach foundational reading skills as well as 21st century skills. There are thousands of games that can help build background knowledge within Vocabulary A to Z. And every one of our books has a listening, a reading, and a comprehension quiz attached to it, each worth a certain number of stars. You can see that the chart here also highlights that students can earn stars by completing practice recordings for fluency, interactivities, and assessments. Some books will even allow you to earn double stars, so look out for that little icon. Each of the successfully completed vocabulary games are worth 150 stars, covering phonics, spelling, and games for teaching vocabulary meaning. Please note that students cannot earn stars for reading a book multiple times. Only the first time will be counted. And if stars are awarded by teachers to students during the competition, those stars will be later deducted from the final score of the competition. Now that we've learned how to log in through our computer or through our devices on the application, and We understand that we need to earn stars and that each activity on the platform will allow us to earn a certain number of stars. Let's actually go into the platform on the student side and explore it together, where we can see how our children can access books that count towards the competition. So the first thing we're going to do is using those login cards, we're going to locate our name. So again, the red square is Matthew, making it easy for me to find. Sometimes our passwords are pictures. So for our younger students, we want to keep the passwords as pictures. Your teacher may have already set it up that way. Or there's a text. And we log in. And once we log into our home page, we have several different areas we're going to explore here. Now, don't feel overwhelmed with all of these different planets. You're not going to see all of this, okay? The ones you're going to see are the reading planet and the vocabulary planet, unless your school has purchased any of these other products. Now, the vocabulary planet is only going to be accessible if the teacher has assigned certain activities. But don't worry if he or she hasn't, because all of the activities within vocabulary A to Z that are assignable here are available here in the reading library. So your child will have access to the same amount of activities, even if the teacher doesn't assign it. Okay, so not to worry there. Our first thing is to click on the reading planet. Okay, and here on the reading planet, we have 3 different capsules that we're going to discuss in more detail. Now, there's a 4th one here that may appear if your child's teacher assigns an assessment. But don't worry, if the assessment hasn't been assigned, your child will receive a placement tool, which will allow them to be leveled anyways, within a range of levels that are suitable or age appropriate for your child. All right, so here, let's talk about the level up. The level up is a space where students are served books automatically through the system that allow them to read at their independent reading level. We don't want them to be demotivated. We don't want them to read something that's way too high or way too low. So if you find that the level is too high or too low for your child, please speak to your child's teacher and they will adjust the level. Now I'm going to click on level up to show you what your child can do on a daily basis to earn stars towards the competition. So here you see this child is at a level J, okay, and has a prescribed number of activities to complete before he or she can move up to level K. And the way it works is they have to complete the listening, the reading, and the comprehension for each one of these books. Now, each level within level up has a reading activity, a listening activity, and a comprehension quiz. Now, the comprehension quiz asks very specific questions that cater to that child's specific level, and each one is worth a certain number of stars. So we can see here, the listening activities are worth 10 stars, the reading activities are worth 50 stars, and the quizzes, they can earn up to 150 stars. Now, a pass within the quizzes is 80% or higher. A perfect score will get them 150 stars, whereas a passed quiz will get them 100. Students will not earn stars if the quiz is lower than 80% accuracy. Students will not get stars if they don't complete the reading and spend enough time on each page to show that they've done the reading. And students will not earn stars if they don't listen to the book until the end. Now, what happens if I stop reading halfway through? Well, no worries. We have a little bookmark here that will save your page. So if I go back to this little bookmark here, it'll take me to the last page I left off on, and I can continue directly from here. Notice from the listening activity, there's tracking. So sentences and words will be highlighted as they're being read, and the voices used to record these books are very expressive and a perfect way to model reading for students. So you may not be able to hear it, but you can see how it highlights the sentence and the word. So there's tracking here. Students can flip through the pages and they can continue to listen from here. All right, let's move back and let's go to maybe another book with a reading activity. So let's go into this reading activity here. Now there are several tools that are available to support your child while they read. So this level up section altogether does not require support from you whatsoever. The reason being is that we have built-in tools. If you flip through the pages as I'm doing now, and let's say we struggle with this word here. I'm struggling to decode it. I'm struggling to read it. I'm not too sure what that word is. If I click on the word, I can hear the word pronounced. I can highlight the word, and I can also add it to my word journal. And this is a great way for students to build their vocabulary as well. All right. Now I also have annotations, so students can also manipulate the text and do several things here. So you can highlight, let's say, words with the capital letters, or maybe circle past tense verbs, or maybe put a stamp next to the punctuation that you see in the text. So depending on what the skills are that the child is working on in class, the teacher might instruct them to use the annotations to be able to show their understanding. And teachers can check for that understanding from the teacher side of the platform. So this is a great way for students to be reflective in their reading and think about the skills that they've learned maybe earlier that day. Now, if there's a word that's bolded, not only can you hear the word or highlight it or add it to your word journal, but you can also view a vocabulary card. And if it's a tier 3 word, you'll also have a picture with a definition and a sample sentence. All right, let's keep going through this and let's see what it looks like to actually complete a book. One more thing I'm going to mention, we have Post-its. If you click on here, there are Post-its that students can add to any of the pages, maybe to comment on something or to explain something, summarize, whatever it is that they would like to use these Post-its for. All right, we also have a word journal that we can access from here directly, but also a reflections journal. And what's great about the reflections journal is the teacher might ask them, all right, I'd like you to tell me what happens on page 4 and predict what will happen on page 5. Or perhaps the teacher will ask them to tell us what the author's purpose was of the book. Maybe they're working on a particular skill in class and they'd like students to write a reflection on that particular skill. So comparing, let's say, and contrasting two characters in the story. So we have this reflections area where students can put their notes in, and it's like their journal, and they can save that reflection and keep it in their journal to access later on. So these are just some of the tools that are available to support your child as they go through the platform and as they read within Level Up. Now remember, Level Up does not need siblings or parents to support the child in their reading. You can see you can have a glossary at the end of the book. Okay, and once they're done, this is where they earn the stars. All right, so they get 50 stars for completing the book, and then it unlocks the quiz, which is, let me show you very quickly, a multiple choice quiz. As they go up in levels, the questions get harder, the options get a little bit more complicated, and students will answer questions. I'm just answering it like this very randomly, okay? And sometimes at the end of the multiple choice, they'll have a text, a question where they have to put in text. And so they have to answer, they have to think about, maybe it's a critical thinking question or something that requires them to do some writing, okay? And once that's done, it will go to the teacher's in basket to be graded. And once you click done, it'll tell you exactly how you did, and if you would like to go back and retake it again, you can go here, click on that button, and it takes you back to the areas where the student has made mistakes. You can always go back and review from the book, so you can always go back or read from the book, and then go back to the quiz and answer those questions if you need to. All right, now for our younger students, don't worry, these questions have a little speaker button where it will actually read the question for the students, and it will read each of the options for them. So not to worry if your child is not able to read full sentences just yet. the program's been made adaptable to a younger audience as well. All right, I'm going to go back to my level up now. And what I need to show you from the level up section is that once I complete a task, it's marked here. So this shows me how many tasks I have left in order to move up from level J to K. Now, level up will move students up automatically so long as they complete all 3 tasks within every book within level up. Now remember, it's a combination of fiction and non-fiction books, so they're exposed to different types of texts, and this is why it's selected in this way. In order to be able to move from level to level, you have to be able to read all types of text. All right, and remember, you won't get the check mark on the quiz unless you get 80% or higher on the quiz part. Now remember, everything the child does here is feeding back into a diagnostic report to inform the teacher of the specific activities the child has completed, but also which skills within the comprehension have they successfully mastered or need a little bit more support in. So it's a full system. All right, let's go back to the reading planet. Now, level up, like we said, is that independent reading level for students. Okay, this is where students will go on a daily basis to do their daily reading, and every activity within here counts towards the competition. Let's go to the reading room, which is our big open library with over 3,000 books and level texts. Our books come in different series, you can see here, and different categories, so you can browse through the different categories. We have classics, poems, songs. We even have books in different languages. I may have switched off some of the categories, so your teacher may have customized this already for his or her class. But the great thing is that I can browse through topics within my child's independent reading level. So if my child wants a book on adventure or animals and insects or art and music, okay, or maybe communities and jobs, cultures around the world, so they can browse through these books, and every single one is at his or her independent reading level, which makes it so much easier to find a book. Now, if I go into the leveled books, it looks like the teacher here has set the parameters to 3 levels below and 4 levels above this child's independent reading level. And what's great about this is that it doesn't just give you a selection of level J books, but it gives you all of the level J books we have on the platform. So now students can do a deep dive into various different topics within their level, and they can go up or down depending on the parameters set by the teacher. Okay. Here I've got the early reading books open, so if you've got younger students or younger children, they might be reading at this level, so you can find things like decodable books and alphabet books, high frequency word books and read alouds. These are fantastic resources to have as parents as well. All right, so let's go back.
This conference will now be recorded.
Now from here, I want to show you back in the general reading room. We also have popular books for students at that level, and favorite books that the student may have actually saved, or favorite topics that they may have saved. Now the idea is that we also, from the reading room, have access to vocabulary A to Z activities. So if I open up one of these books, not only do I have the reading and the listening and the quiz from here, but I also have 3 different categories of vocabulary games that students can play in order to earn 150 stars. Again, 80% or higher is the score or the accuracy rate that they need to achieve to get 150 stars. But here you'll find games to teach students phonics, spelling, and vocabulary meaning of a list of new words associated with this book. And you'll find this with all of our books. We have the vocabulary games that go along with it. So if I click on this one, I've got a set of vocabulary words where I'm going to be learning the pronunciation, the spelling, and the meaning of those words. And this is a great way to build background knowledge. So I can find these books even here. So let me just go from here. So if I go to this book, for instance, okay, I can find vocabulary games. If I click on the phonics games, I'm able to play any one of these games to learn the pronunciation of these 6 words. All right, so it makes it very, very exciting for students and engaging to learn vocabulary words and build that background knowledge before reading the book. If I were to click on this, it would read the word for me, and then of course I can go into any of these activities and play the game. So every activity starts with a practice test. So once they go to the practice test, it will give them verbal instructions as well as written instructions. All right. So I'm going to go back. We're not going to actually go ahead and play the game, but do make sure that your child knows that these games exist, because this can earn them a lot of stars. All right, let's go back to our reading planet. I'm going to quickly show you how my assignments work. Teachers can assign to students folders of books or individual books based on topics, themes, skills, strategies that they're working on in class. So for this one here, I'm going to click on the Oceans folder. And here the teacher is given specific instructions to students, has set a deadline, and has specific actions for each book. So here the teacher's only chosen the reading activity for students to complete, whereas here it's the reading and the comprehension. Notice that you still can earn the same number of stars for completing the activities assigned by a teacher. So everything you see here between all 3 capsules that we've looked at, Level Up, the reading room, my assignment, all 3 of them can help earn stars that will count towards the competition. Before moving on to the parent dashboard, I'd like to draw your attention to the student dashboard down here. Students can read messages from their teachers or parents. Teachers might send them voice recordings, text messages, instructions for homework, maybe words of encouragement for having completed assignments efficiently. They can also view their stats from here. So here you can see the student's avatar that was built. They have 30,660 stars to spend in the star zone down here. But also this shows you the total number of stars earned since the beginning of using the platform. Now, the stars that we will count are not the total number of stars to spend, nor is it the total number of stars earned. It will be the total number of stars earned from the beginning of the competition, so the start date of your competition, until the end date. And those stars will be the ones calculated towards the competition. Okay, so not to worry if you have been using the platform for a long time or if you're brand new, it won't make a difference, because the stars collected between the start and the end of the competition are the ones that are going to count towards the grand prize. Students can also earn badges. So these are the digital badges they can earn. Notice students have to complete certain tasks in order to earn the badges. The teacher will also be notified once these badges are earned. Parents will be able to view these badges from the parent dashboard, and students will have to complete certain activities. For instance, reading at least 1 book a day for 5 straight days will earn them the Super Reader badge. And these are great because at the end of the competition, teachers will also be handing out badges and certificates for students who have completed these tasks. And finally, we have our reading stats, where we can see, or students can see, what they've read last week, what they've read this week, total number of books read, total number of books listened to, total number of quizzes completed, and total number of interactivities completed on the platform. And of course, as you know, each one of these is worth a certain number of stars. Here it shows where the student is within their level up. So here the student has completed 4 out of 60 tasks within their level, which is level J. And last but not least, the star zone. So this is a place where students will come to spend their stars, either building an avatar or a rocket ship. And just to give you an example of what that looks like, here is my avatar, and I can, of course, add various different features to my avatar by purchasing with my stars. Now again, don't worry if your students or if your child uses their stars to build on their avatar, because this total number of stars, again, from the start to the end of the competition, will be calculated regardless of whether they were spent on their avatar or not.
Now parents, up on the top right-hand corner here, we click there. This is where you can then request access to your dashboard. So you put in your first name and your last name, and then you put in the email address that you wish to receive updates and reports on, and then you request access. Now that will go to your child's teacher. It'll give you a message like this that says your request has been sent to the teacher. You will be able to log in once the teacher has approved your request. And once the teacher has approved your request, you are then able to log in to your child's dashboard. Let's see if I can remember my password. There we go. So this is what my child's dashboard looks like. So I'm logged in now as a parent. Now the great thing about this is it gives me all the information I need to know about my child's progress, about how they've been reading, how well they've been doing. If they've done any assessments, I'll get reports on that. So any activity, any usage, progress, skills even, are being reported here in the dashboard. So first and foremost, I have this little icon here, which gives me my alerts. So any alerts that I need to see for my child, I can click on these alerts and it will tell me exactly what I need to focus on with them. So I can see here that my child has failed 11 quizzes in a row. Uh-oh. And it even tells you that he or she has failed the past 10 questions focusing on the cause and effect skill. So it gives me an indication of the type of skill I need to focus on, but also shows me that that he or she has completed an assessment. So that's a good update. But anything that is pink means that you need to give it a little bit of focus. Teachers will also receive these alerts, so they will be also following up. It'll tell you when your child has last logged in, and of course their username and password. And here's where you can send your child messages. So you can send them text messages and encourage them and say, great work, motivate them to keep reading, earn more stars, right? So we can give them these nice little motivating messages to incentivize them to continue to read. So that message has now gone to my child's account. Now it gives you all the stats for the last 7 days or 30 days. So this will be a good idea to check maybe weekly, so you can see the last 7 days, how many stars they've earned and how many hours they've logged in and so on. Under the recent activity, you can see what your child has been doing and what they've been reading. So it shows you the dates of completion, which capsule they've read from, and the type of reading. So was it a reading activity? Was it a running record, which is an assessment? Was it a quiz? Was it a book they've read? Was it a practice recording? And so on. So you're able to see all this information here. You're able to access the book if you'd like, and even the quiz that they take. So you can even see the quiz score and the skills that they're missing within each quiz. So this information is all accessible to you as a parent, and you can actually browse through all the different activities that your child has completed. Now under reports, we click on reports, and that tells us that our child here is going from level E to level F. Okay, their average quiz score is 25%, which is probably not very good. And the last 5 books that were read are here listed for me to see as a parent. I can even see their reading rate and their level progress on an individual basis as well. So this is your child's dashboard. Definitely something to review on your own. You will receive emails as well once you sign up to the parent dashboard. So those emails will come in to your inbox, and you'll be able to get updates on your child's progress as you go along. Thank you for listening.
And we look forward to your child becoming the next top reader. And the Vocabulary A to Z Planet.